Do you think this was a smart move by the Big Ten?
Yes, it's better than what they previously were planning. But the entire kind of architecture of how they're doing this is not good. What you want to do in a situation like this is be overly conservative to begin with. So you have a very modest plan that requires enormous sacrifice on everyone's part and a realization that things are going to be very different. And you scale down what is normally expected of a season. You start with that, and then maybe that gives you a chance to at least begin your season if class ever even winds up in session anywhere in this country in the fall, right? But if you started there and things were being handled well and things were going smoothly, then at a certain point you may get a little more ambitious. Hey, you know what? We can expand this a little bit. Maybe there can be socially distanced fans in attendance. Maybe we could actually travel a team to a nearby place in different cars, whatever that is. But what they've done in college football and also in the NFL, incidentally, but let's stay with college football right now because here's the news, is behave at first as though very little has changed. And then when it becomes obvious things are very different and their season is imperiled, then they start making adjustments. At that point, if it's not too late, it's certainly more difficult. So is this a step in the right direction? Yes, it is. I fear it's far too little, far too late, and anyone with any sense would have started making plans like this months and months ago.
Well, me personally, I applaud the Big Ten for the move that they're making. Yes, it's a baby step, Max, but they're making the right move, in my opinion, taking it slow. You have to realize that the Big Ten, yes, they make hundreds of millions of dollars every year, right, off of football alone. But I'm putting myself in these players' shoes. The players look forward to the season. They look forward to playing football for the reason after college. You know, they get an opportunity to do their dreams in the NFL, and I have a special place in my heart for those seniors that was looking forward to this. I could only imagine how many calls coaches are getting from their players saying, please, coach, man, whatever we could do, let's make something happen. And I applaud the Big Ten because guess what? If they would have came out and just said, scratch the whole season, this canceled, everyone else would have followed suit. The Big Ten is a leader when it comes down to football. Also, with that being said, they got to make sure they T's and dot their I's because, where guys are getting paid and it's their job, or the NFL where guys are getting paid and it's their job, these are student athletes that are not getting paid. So parents are trusting these coaches and universities to protect their kids and their safety. So they have to do a great job in that department, but I applaud them for not just canceling the season, but trying to figure a way out and trying to find a solution. A lot of seniors, like I said before, were dependent on this season, and it would be so unfair to them for them not to have that stage to audition for life after college.
I want to be very clear about this. I'm not someone who reflexively says, cancel everything. If something is possible, it should be attempted if the thought is it can be done safely. Now, understand, the main problem with a coronavirus pandemic right now on college campuses, I don't think is so much that the kids will get sick and require ventilators and things like that. The problem is they can become vectors for the disease, and it can become a hot spot, which is then transmitted to society, larger society. And the real danger, although it's dangerous for everyone, but the real danger is for people who are infirm, the elderly, people with underlying conditions. And so this is really about selflessness. Yes, it's about keeping the kids in college safe, but it's also about making sure that they don't spread it to people who are more vulnerable than them. So if the only point is, can the kids stay healthy and relatively safe in a pandemic and play football, that's one consideration. There's the additional consideration, does it make society at large a more dangerous place for the people most vulnerable, or does it help flatten or even, really destroy the curve, really crush it, as they say. But
Max,
but Kendrick,
and
if
Max,
they can, like when Dana White did Fight Island, I'm all for it, as long as it's not taking tests away from people who need it. And now tests are widely available. Top Rank has a bubble. I'm for it. The NBA is trying a bubble. I'm for it. I've not heard plans like that make sense from college football. That's my point. So here's, as you said, it's a baby step in the right direction.
Right, and Max, listen, you have valid points, and I agree with you on all those points. All I'm saying is I applaud them canceling the season. That's it. I understand. Like, for example, the Ivy League, they canceled all fall sports, right? Because it's not that big of a deal. They don't make their name. Sports is not that relevant to them. Big Ten. Like I said before, listen, we had 48 draft picks in the NFL this season that came from the Big Ten. I'm thinking about the players. I'm putting myself in their shoes, guys that have been preparing themselves for this moment. That's what I'm saying. And if the thing happened for the players that they could play and be able to go out there and put themselves in position for life after college, I'm all in for it. But I'm not in your point for us the safety-wise, because that is very important. And I'm going to reiterate this again, that they're not getting paid. So I understand what you're saying about, you know, spread virus and so forth, but I'm applauding them for even, you know, making it a priority to even try to attempt to keep the season going alive.
Perk, there were seniors who couldn't play in the NCAA tournament. You know, look forward to it. Their whole or freshmen who aren't going to be in college next year. There are all kinds of people who had to sacrifice things. But this is my point, my broader point. When you make, and people who have taken your position make your point, like, hey, let's try it. I'm for trying it. But here's what happens when you don't try it in a reasonable way. When you do the cost-benefit analysis at the end of the day, the cost-benefit analysis, what would have happened? You come out behind if you don't plan conservatively and take real precautions. In the end, everyone loses.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.